150 to 200. So you do that 4 times out the month, that's another $800. That's $800 that you didn't have. So you can use that to do what? Save half, use the other half as a hedge against inflation. You can start investing in the companies that you know, like, and trust. Putting out another 800 to 1,000 on the small level out of thin air. You got to pay yourself first, though. You got to take the 1,000, right? In this example, take the 1,000. Half of it is mine, meaning that don't mean I'm gonna take the 500 and I'm gonna go buy my favorite Jordans, or I'm gonna go to my favorite restaurant. No, that 500 is to pay myself, meaning that out of the extra 1,000, that 500 is not being spun. It's gonna be sat on or invested. One of the two. The other 500 you can use as a hedge against inflation. See, the thing about this is an educational tool. It just gets you to tighten up your game, right? That's all this stuff is. You got to look at it like that. You got to look at it like, okay, all these things and all this stuff that they're talking about, tariffs and inflation and prices going up. Bro, inflation and tariffs been around since the beginning of time. I remember when gas was 99 cents. I remember when gas was $1.20 where I'm at. I remember when the gallon of gas was $1.25. I remember when a loaf of bread was 75 cents. I remember when eggs was 50 cents. I remember that. But what we need to realize, see, the thing about this internet is that this internet has exposed people to a lot of things they don't know, they absolutely didn't know anything about or wasn't paying attention to. Inflation and tariffs been going on, bro. It's been happening. It's just like a business, right? If a great example, if I'm selling hamburgers, if I'm just not starting a business, a hamburger business, and I don't have no truck, I don't have no building, I'm selling the hamburgers out of my house. Well, I'm gonna sell my hamburgers for a little bit cheaper, right? But then once I say, well, okay, I done made enough money now. Now it's time for me to get a taco truck. Well, I get a truck, a food truck. Well, I get a food truck. Now I gotta do what? I'm going to raise the prices of my hamburgers a little bit. It might be 20 cents, it might be 25 cents. That's a tariff. That's a tariff. Okay, I done made money, a bit of money out of my food truck. Now I got a lot of customers. Now I want to build a brick and mortar. Now I want a building to sell it out of. I don't want to sell out of the taco truck no more, or the food truck no more. I want a building. I want a restaurant. Guess what's going to happen? I am going to raise the prices again. I got more work. I need to hire more people. Right? I'm going to raise the prices of my hamburgers. That's a tariff. We have been, I don't know if you know it or not, we have been paying tariffs since we've been working and paying taxes. The taxes go up from time to time. That's a tariff. So we have been paying tariffs all this longer time. Only difference is now, because of this internet, everybody knows now. Which in the 80s and the 90s, only a few amount of people knew. And it really didn't enter your mind because it just didn't. You just really didn't care. You just did. When the gas would go up, you just pay the price. Food go up, you just pay the price. The rent go up, you just pay the price. They raise the taxes on when you buy something. They raise the taxes. Half the time we don't even know that the taxes have been raised. When you buy goods or service, when you buy food and goods and services, the taxes went up. The taxes ain't the same in 2025 as it was in 2016. Why? Because of tariffs. They raised the prices. They raised the tax on how much taxes that we pay. They raised that. Now, I'm about to show something right now. This is what I'm about to do. I'm about to go over here and I'm about to go to what is called the World Debt Clock. Most people ain't never seen this before. I'm gonna show you how much debt we are in. Let me see. I'm sharing the tab right now. Let's see. Has it changed? Okay. I'm finna take myself off the screen, y'all. This is the World Debt Clock. Let me switch it. Look at this very, very closely. Now, I'm not going to go too far in depth about all of this. You can go over here on your own. usdebtclock.org. Now, this right here, you need to pay very, very close attention to. Right? This is, as you can see right here, U.S. national debt. The U.S. national debt. The national public debt outstanding represents the base amount of principal amount of marketable and non-marketable securities currently outstanding. That's how much debt we are in. Look at this. 36 trillion in debt. Right? 36 trillion. That's how much debt we are in. And look at this clock, bro. It steady goes up as I'm speaking. Look how it's going up. That's 1 million. Keep this thing. That's 1 million. That 3. This 3 right here, that's 1 million. Let's watch this go to another million. This is the U.S. debt clock. Every millisecond, it goes up. Look, another million. That's 4 million. Within 1 million. 1 million every 30 seconds. Look at that. I'm pointing at a million. Now we're going to go to another million. 5 million. Bro, we have to do something. Look at this. Debt per citizen. Guess what they do? They split all this money up in between each person. So when you're born, we all get a social security number. So if you're born, it's a kid being born every minute or two. The kid that's being born right now, a newborn, is born with over $100,000 worth of debt when they are born. Taxpayers, debt per taxpayer, over $300,000. Just look at that. Look at the U.S. federal spending. Look at that. $7 trillion. U.S. federal budget, $2 trillion. Total revenue, $2 trillion. Doge clock, 248 billion. That's how much money Doge clock, and it's going up. Savings per taxpayer, 2,000. So once you look at this, you really just, it's not that complicated to understand that right there. If you're running your household like this, if you're running your business like this, you would have to close down. The only thing that's keeping America afloat is credit. That's it. See, I like to take these things and break it down to a smaller scale where a 10th grader can understand this. America is able to stay afloat because of credit. Just think about that. So what we have to do is we have to create more income. They have to create more income or we won't have a country, bro. Our great-grandkids, great, like my grandfather right here. My great-grandkids won't have a country. And if the U.S. economy collapse, bro, this world is coming to an end. Basically, that's what's being faced right now. And the thing is, we have a new president every 4 years. I can't stand that. It's 2025. That's not long enough, bro. Unless the next president wins and piggyback off the next one. 4 years is not long enough to run a business, run a country, a CEO. If you hire, basically a president is a CEO of a company, which is America. So you got 4 years to turn around a company before you get voted out of, or whatever. Then after 2 terms, you can't be the CEO anymore. In my opinion, that needs to go. If somebody's really running this country correctly and everything is turning around, all it takes is the opponent to not like the guy, and guess what they're going to do? No matter if whatever he put in place benefits the people, guess what he's going to do? He's going to erase everything that guy did. Why? Because he don't like it. And it goes both ways. So we got to think about that part. We have 2 sides of this country, no matter what side you like. They don't like each other, bro. We see it's getting worse and worse. I'm 50 years old. It's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And now with this internet, they're doing things like what the internet people do, the YouTubers do. They create drama for likes and views. That's what the government is doing right now. I said it. That's what they're doing. But you know why they don't care? It's because they're taking the money, the Department of Government Efficiency. These guys that are elected to run this country, you know what they're doing? They're taking a cut out of this money. They're taking a cut. And they take you know how they cover it up? By acting like they're giving it to a 501c3, a private organization. They're able to get the money from the government, maybe a grant, aka what Big U did. That's the same thing the government officials are doing. What Big U did, he took the money, right, and he funneled it into a into a program, a 501c3 non-profit organization. But the whole time, he's the owner of the non-profit organization. He's the one running it. So this is what they do. This is how they're taking our money. They take the money through the paperwork, because they all work together. I need the money to go to my nonprofit organization. But I'm over the nonprofit organization. And I go out and I do for the community, right? But at the same time, I'm paying myself through the nonprofit organization. That's how they get this money. They send the money. Okay, I got a nonprofit in Africa. I got a nonprofit in Afghanistan. But I'm over it, or somebody that I appoint over it is over it, and we split the money. That's why we got politicians, all these guys, anyone you can name. If you go and Google their name, how much they're worth. A lot of those people are worth 150 billion, 200 million. But their income don't support that type of revenue. That's why they take that money. The example I just made, what they do, they know the law, right? So they know how to create income out of thin air. They funnel the money to a nonprofit organization. If they are not the trustee of the nonprofit, if they are not the trustee, somebody that they know, like, and trust is an appointee, and they just funnel the money to them. You take half, I take half, everybody's happy. That's what's been going on. Both sides do it, bro. Both sides. They both do it. They both do it. That's why I talk over here. That's why I say, well, what can we do, Stock Sniper? Once you understand this, and you really think about it, you should be trying to spend less. Just like they don't want to pay no taxes, I don't want to pay no taxes either. And the only way you can avoid taxes is if you create a side income. Something as easy as DoorDash. You can crank up a delivery business right just like that. And you're able to write off a lot of things. Because a W-2, as a W-2 worker, they take our money out before we even get it. So as a W-2 employee, we have no choice but to pay these taxes. That's why it's very, very, very important to create something as small as DoorDash. I ain't even say small, but something like an easy business to create out of thin air, like DoorDash. Driving DoorDash once or twice a week. When you get off work, go do DoorDash 2 or 3 hours a day. Creating a delivery business. That's all that is. And get your paperwork straight. Whatever you want to call your delivery business. Stock Sniper delivery business. As an example. Put up an LLC. And you ready to rock and roll. Then you're able to offset some of these taxes where your money our money won't be embedded until this is what's going on right here that I'm showing right now. Every 2 minutes, another million is being spun on what? We already know. And both sides do it, bro. Both sides look out for their own people. And they don't like each other. This country is out of there. I said it. This country is out of there, bro. Why, Stock Sniper? Because the people who we elect to run this place can't get along. All of them fighting over the money. It's like a company, like a Whataburger, a Jack in the Box, and it's two people that run the company. And they don't get along. They're fighting over the money. That's what's happening in this country. They are fighting over the money. That's what it's all about, bro. And guess what? One side will complain about the other other side, and the other side is doing the same thing. So a person as a regular W-2 worker that's not, for one, if you are a W-2 worker, you have to be participating in the 401k plan, bro. You have to be participating in that. You have to. If you're not investing on it, or if you're not buying stocks on your own, if you don't have another side income, you have to. If you only work a W-2, you have to be in the company's retirement program. You have to. It is not a good idea to be switching job to job to job to job to job. It's not a good idea. It's not. Because whether you know it or not, you're getting caught up in this, because if you're switching from job to job to job to job to job to job to job, there's no way you gotta go, there's no way you got to be stable on one particular job that has benefits. And what that does is, especially if they match it, if you get $1,000 check in a week, and you say, well, I'm gonna put 50 into the retirement program, 50 and they match 50. That's 100. If you steady working, guess what? You're not thinking about it. You just letting it build up. $400-500 a month. If you work at that same company for 6 or 7 years, and that money is growing, even if the stock market is down, they're still matching the match. That's what I love about that. It's a match. You put up 50, we put up 50. It's a match. And you're working. And after about 6 months, you ain't even noticing that the $50 is gone. All you know, you ain't even thinking about it no more. You just working and doing what you're doing and living your life. Next thing you know, you've been there 5 years. Well, that money done added up. With that analogy and that example, you got almost $5,000 a year. You keep that same job for 4 years, you got $20,000 in your retirement account. That's why it's very important to find something that you love to do, master it, and monetize it, and also build a great relationship with the people you work with so you can stay on that same job. And get a match. If you're just doing W-2, if you're just doing W-2 and nothing else, you have to be investing in the retirement program of the job and building relationships on the job so you can stay on that same job for decades. That way, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you're good to go. And don't touch it. A lot of people will get the 401k plan, and then 4 or 5 years will pass, and guess what'll happen? They will want to go and recoup some of that. I know people who have done that, and then have to start all over. You don't want to do that. That's why in 2025, if you do, the way to get ahead of the game is to participate in that retirement program, get on this internet with the beauty of the internet, learn how to invest yourself. It's very simple. Find you a good brokerage. There's a million of them out there these days. The companies, start with the companies that you know, like, and trust, and start buying shares. They got brokerage accounts that also have retirement account, IRA, Roth IRA. Do your homework about this. A Roth IRA. Well, you can build your own portfolio, build your own 401k plan, along with the one that you already got from the job. That's how you educate yourself about these companies. The thing about doing it on your own is you start understanding. You start thinking different. When you start investing in these companies that we know, like, and trust, you start looking at things differently. You stop looking at things as a consumer. See, the thing that we don't know, I'm about to tell you the secret right now. Hit the like button. Everybody that's in there, hit the like button. I'm about to tell you the secret right now of what they don't want us to know. They don't want us investing. They don't, bro. They don't want us to start an income on the side. They don't. America, the system of America want us to keep working these hourly wages. They want to keep us right here. They want us paycheck to paycheck. That's what they want. They don't want us paying attention to this dead clock and looking at these numbers and figuring it out and simplifying it in the simplest form on what all this stuff means. They want us to look at this and the stuff. Some people, man, all them numbers, that's Chinese. You know, that's like trying to read Chinese. They want us to look at it like that. They don't want us to really analyze all this stuff. They don't want us doing this. And look at, okay, debt per citizen equals the USC. Debt per citizen. The debt per citizen equals the national debt by the number of U.S. citizens. We are the product of America, bro. We are the product. They tax us for every single thing. And then they take the money and keep it and split it up amongst themselves. And they keep us confused by them going at each other. The art of war. Conquer and divide. That's what they do. Conquer and divide. That's what they do. And the number one thing that they don't want us to come together as a collective citizen. They don't want that, bro. They don't. You'll see them act all type of ways once they realize that the people are coming together. And somebody that really, really run the business of America is really with the people. I don't care what nobody said about Elon Musk. I've been rolling with Elon Musk for a long time. Since PayPal days. This is how long I've been rolling with Elon Musk. Elon Musk has always been about the people. Hit the like button. Elon Musk has always been about the people. Hit the like button. I'm going to say that again. I've been rolling with Elon Musk. I don't know him personally, but I do business with him. I invest in the things he created. I've been rolling with him the whole time. Elon Musk always talk about the people. All the time. Before he even really came on the internet like this. Elon Musk was always about the people. He always about bringing the people together for the common good. Straight up. He's weird though. But most people that are geniuses are a little thrown off and a little weird. And they do things and they make gestures that we don't really understand because the way their brain operate is different than the normal person. Hit the like button. Strategic drop. Hit the like button. The way that they move and the way that they are different because they're geniuses. They do things that you be like, what in the world is this? What is he doing? And they'll make moves that we would think would be done. He's a genius, bro. The richest man in the world come from nothing. Didn't inherit anything. He found something that he loved to do. Went to school for it, mastered it, and built something. Built multiple billion-trillion-dollar businesses, man. Elon Musk is going to be the first trillionaire. He's already worth $500 billion right now. Right now. So, man, he see this. He got a well of this. Oh, bro, we got to do something about this. It's about the people. And that's how we got to think, bro. We got to run our household like this. We have to run our household like this. If you run your household like we run this country, your house would be foreclosed on. You wouldn't have a house. If we ran our houses, our households like this, we would be on the streets. We would be homeless. Working the same old job. You got this fancy stuff and you living this lifestyle, but your income don't hold up to that. You're living off credit. Eventually the credit card is going to eventually they're going to cut the credit card off, bro. That's where America is right now. Living on credit. U.S. federal tax revenue. Look what that is. This is America's income. Look what it says. Federal tax revenue of the income tax, payroll, corporate tax, duties, and everything else. Tariffs. This is the only money that we collect, bro. They tell you right here. Right here. Revenue per citizen. So we're living upside down. They're supposed to be making money for, you know what I'm saying? If you put your money inside of something, you're supposed to get a return, bro. We paying taxes, right? We paying into a company. We're buying stocks in America by paying taxes. It's supposed to be some type of return. Look at this return, bro. Revenue per citizen, 14,000. Look at the debt per taxpayer. Well, we're going to go with per citizen. Look at that. Look at this. All this other stuff, it matters, but it really don't. For a simple D student perspective, look at this. You're bringing in 14,000 per citizen. You're bringing 14,000 in your house, but you're in debt 107,000. Okay, if your numbers are at odds like that, how are you making up for this? You're making up for this by credit. By credit. In other words, they say 850 is a high credit score, right? Well, I'm going to raise that because they say America got AAA credit. So 850 is I'm breaking this down so these student, a 10th grader can understand this. 850 is considered a great credit score, right? You can get the best of credit cards for a low interest rate for right around 850 credit score. Well, let's say your credit is 3 times that. You got a 2,700 credit score. So even this is how you can pay your bills. A lot of people live like this in real life. I know people right now that make $100,000 a year. Bills are more than $10,000 a month. They like to go to the restaurants 4 or 5 times a week. They got to smoke cigarettes every single day, and they're living off credit. They're buying groceries with credit cards. They're paying their car notes with the credit card, and they're buying cigarettes with the credit card. All the stuff that we don't need, they're using the credit card to do it. Why? Because they already just spent all the money that they come in with. So they basically America lives just like that. And they play catch up. Eventually, just like a person like that, eventually you're gonna get behind on your credit card bills. And then your credit gonna go from 850 to 750, from 750 to 700, right? Now you try to do anything you can to pay this. You living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you ain't balling right now, so you don't do those things for a minute, right? You know, you kind of spin your wheels, then you do right for a while, then your credit score back up to 850. Then you see that the credit balance, the credit limit now is another 20, 30,000, and go back doing the same old thing all over again. I know a lot of people like that. It's called living like the Joneses. I know a lot of people like that. Got 2 or 3 car notes, got a house note, nothing's paid off. They make $100,000 a year, and they got 3 or 4 credit cards with $30,000 or $40,000 limit on each credit card, and that's how they get over year to year. Then when they get their income tax, they use the income tax checks to do what? Catch up with the credit card bills. Spinning wheels, and they start all over the process all over. Well, this year, they might do the right thing. They get everything back ready to rock and roll, and next year, about the summer, they be back doing the same old thing again. That's how majority of Americans live. I did a video the other day. Most Americans don't have $2,000 in a savings account. 40% of Americans don't have $2,000 in a savings account. That's true. So that's why tariffs, in my opinion, we need that right now. We need more revenue, bro. We got to get this number down. We got to get this down, and we got to get this down. Federal spending. This is another thing. Spending to the budget deficit. The difference between the total amount spent by Congress and the revenue received by the Internal Revenue Service. That tells you right there. We're spending $7 trillion and only bringing in $2 trillion. That's the same analogy as what I'm using right here on the D-student perspective. You're bringing in 14,000, but your debt is 100,000. And America don't have products. We the product. We are the product, bro. That's why they tax us on every single thing. America doesn't have a product for sale. They don't. U.S. federal debt, look at this. It's another important. This is a big number right here, bro. GDP ratio. That's the debt to product ratio. That's how much America is making. That's the debt. How much debt we got, how much we owe, to how much money we bringing in off the products that we sell. Look at that. We are now at 122.56%. Compared to where? 1960, 1980, 2000. It has more than doubled. The country is going down, bro. In 25 years, it has doubled. We did good from 1960 to 1980. Shout out to, golly. I can't think of that president name right now. Not Bush. Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, shout out to Ronald Reagan, who had this country thumping. Why he had the country thumping, Stock Sniper? Because for going in, he put tariffs. He taxed. They need to stop saying tariff. That confuses the people. That confuses everybody when they say tariff. Tariff is taxes. Everybody wanted them to tax the rich, right? Everybody wanted them to tax the rich, right? Everybody wanted them to tax the rich. Tell me I'm lying. Everybody wanted them to tax the rich. I've been talking to Napoleon. If you're still in here, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you for coming. But everybody wanted them to tax the rich. That was the main thing they said about Trump in 2016, 2017, 2018. What did they say? That Trump lowered the tax on the rich. Ain't that what they said? They said Trump lowered the tax on the rich. He would not raise taxes on rich people. The 1%. Ain't that what he said? Ain't that what he said, y'all? Okay. A tariff is a tax, bro. He just did what? Put a 25% tariffs on the rich. He just put a 25% tariffs on the rich. The 1%. Even guess who? Say it with me. Elon Musk.